Hey,
Good evening.
hate to interrupt all the laughter and chatter here. We do have a lot of folks on some tight schedules here tonight. We've got a lot of exciting things going on within the district. So I'd like to call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and a notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a word of prayer? Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing. At this time, Chris Shermanic, a pastor at River Valley Christian Church, will offer an opening prayer.
Dear Father, I just start by saying thank you for everybody here, all the way from the administrator to the teacher to the parent to the student. Lord, thank you for their care and their commitment to what they do, and we appreciate them. Lord, I just ask that you would be in their minds and their hearts tonight as they make decisions and have conversations about how to best care for not only the school district, but just the students themselves, Lord, and that you'd go before them in that, and that they would be mindful of you as they do that. And that, Lord, we just, we love you, and we pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Time, Mr. Murray will introduce our student speaker.
You know, each month we have a student speaker, and we are excited to have a sixth grader from Cedar Creek Elementary, Chris Nino. Is Chris here? Chris is up at the podium. Let me talk a little bit more about Chris, and then he's going to speak to us. Again, Chris is a sixth grader at Cedar Creek Intermediate. He's going to speak this evening on the trait of responsibility. Chris enjoys sports. Which sports the most, Chris? What's your favorite?
All sports.
All of them. All right. Okay. Well, okay. He's very involved then. And you're also in the choir. You like to sing? Very good. So does Silvano. You like to sing, Silvano? Never mind. Okay. His parents are Omar and Mary, Omar Nino and Mary Haros. Are they present tonight? Yes. Please stand and be recognized. Chris, it's all yours, buddy.
I am here today to talk to everyone about responsibility. Being responsible is one of the most important things a person can be. For me, this starts at school. I show responsibility by being on time to class, turning all my work in, and always working hard. This gives me good grades in all my pre-AP classes. Responsibility is also important outside of school. It teaches us to be dependable so people trust us. My mom always makes sure that I am doing what I am supposed to and being responsible in school for my team and for my family. Responsibility is key to success.
Very good. There's your proud
Chris.
principal. I know she's proud right now.
Mr. Murray, at this time, do you mind introducing our Student Advisory Council?
I'm gonna do that. I think is our first time this year? Yes, it is. First meeting this year. Each month during the school year, we have members of our Student Advisory Council at both high schools present with us. And we're gonna let them stand here in a second and introduce themselves. That includes you, Natalia, yes. And talk about what their future plans are and what they're involved with right now in the school year. Leave the microphone alone, it'll be fine. I get to meet with these students once a month. I go to both high schools. The one here on Bastrop side also has representatives from Circa, Natalia's at Circa, and from Genesis. And then we have a group out at Cedar Creek High School, grades 9 through 12. And it's, as I've said so many times, it's one of the greatest blessings I have as a superintendent. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, engaging in conversation with our students and finding out what is really going on in school life. And as I've said many other times, the fact that our board is one of the few, if maybe not the only, school board in the state of Texas that has students sitting in advisory capacity to them at each regular board meeting is also a blessing, that we have board members who care about listening to the most important people in our school district, our students. So, Silvano, I'm going to start with you. stand up so we can all see you. Tell us your full name, because I said just your first name and a little bit about yourself and what your plans are after high school.
My full name is Ivana Santander. I plan on attending Texas State, going for education. I want to be a kindergarten teacher.
Very good.
Yay.
In Bastrop ISD? Yes. In Bastrop ISD, very good. There's a recruit right there.
Sounds good. So, hello, my name is David Enriquez, and I'm planning to go to either UT or St. Edwards to study accounting or finance, one of the two in the business. And hopefully in the future, I'll be able to start my own business and be an entrepreneur.
Very good. Let me ask, Savannah, how many years have you been on the council?
Excuse me?
How many years have you been on the student advisory?
Second year.
Second year, David?
Second year.
Second year. Okay, your turn, Natalia.
You want me to tell them how many years?
I want you to tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Hi, I'm Natalia. I am a senior at Colorado River Collegiate Academy, and I plan on being an immigration attorney. And it's my 3rd year on the council. I'm gonna tell them.
You always call me out, so go ahead and do it now.
Okay, so it would be 4 years, but he didn't decide to get us
Involved until
Yeah.
3 years ago. Like all the women in my life, Natalia likes to throw me under the bus
Sorry.
whenever she gets a chance. Yeah. So I will, believe me, I will pay you back. You know how that is. But throughout the meeting, at some point, we'll have board members ask you any question. They might have questions now, I don't know. But if something comes up in the agenda, we might ask a question. You can certainly ask us a question as well. It's a two-way communication, all right? Kendall Haas unfortunately is not here. She was supposed to join us as well. She's a student at Cedar Creek High School. Any questions or comments to start off with from our board for our students? Wow, y'all gonna get off easy?
Yeah. I'd like to hear what Ms. Lee has to say.
I just wanted to point out that David is also a National Hispanic Merit Scholar.
Oh, they caught me.
Oh, yeah. It's a big deal, David. It's a big deal. Yes, it's a very big deal. Thank you for pointing that out, Dr. Lee. We appreciate that. All right, we'll go from there. Ashley, okay, do we have and then let me do this, and then I know Mr. Muchink has several things he wants to talk about here as far as recognition. We have some people to help us. This month's a special month, not only because we have our students here, we have a board meeting, we're fully into the school year, but this has been designated as Principal Appreciation Month nationally. And I know we have many of our principals here. I know we also have some principals who are at functions tonight. As Ashley said, we have the big Battle for the Helmet tonight between Cedar Creek Middle School and Bastrop Middle School. We also have a district volleyball match, which is very important in the district standings between Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek High School. That's over at Cedar Creek High School, starting about 6:30 or 7. So lots of things going on. So all of our principals aren't here, but the principals that are in attendance, please rise. We know we have several here. You know, these folks are so dedicated. They work long hours, as do obviously our teachers. They work with our teachers, work with our other staff members, our counselors, all the folks at the campuses who support, teach, coach, guide all of our 11,000 students now in Bastrop ISD. And we just can't say enough about how, again, blessed we are to have the type and the group of principals that we have in Bastrop ISD. Let's give them another round of applause. Let's take them there.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. And on behalf of the board principals, thank you for what you do. We know that we have the bar raised very high, and we understand that. And we're here to support you. We're here to be behind you, and we definitely want to thank you for all the extra effort and the hard work for everything that you do. So thank you very much. All right, at this time, under special recognitions, we have a proclamation from the city of Bastrop for Red Ribbon Week. Mr. Hudson?
Mr. Murray, members of the board, I have a proclamation here for Bastrop City for Red Ribbon Week. Whereas alcohol drug abuse in the nation has reached epidemic stages, and whereas it is imperative that we visibly unify, prevent education efforts by community members be launched to eliminate the demand for drugs, and whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign offers students of Bastrop Independent School District and citizens of Bastrop County the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to a drug-free lifestyle, no use of illegal drugs, no illegal use of legal drugs, and whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 31st. And whereas business, government partners, law enforcement, media, medical institutions, religious institutions, schools, senior citizens, service organizations, and youth will demonstrate their commitment to a healthy, drug-free lifestyle by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week-long campaign, and therefore being resolved that October 23rd through the 31st will be known as Red Ribbon Week, and encourages citizens to participate in the drug prevention education activities not only during Red Ribbon Week, but all year long, making the visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free Bastrop. In witness thereof, I have whereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of Bastrop, of the city of Bastrop, Texas, and affixed the 10th day of October, Connie Schrader, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right, this time we have a recognition of Bastrop ISD A+ Education Foundation grant recipients. Roy?
Thank you all for having us here tonight. We appreciate this time. I would like to introduce my assistant manager, Eric Farley, who is here now with me in Bastrop. So Eric, and then Billy O'Brien, which is our business development officer for the A+ Credit Union as well. So I wanted to say we really appreciate the applications that have been brought forward to the A+ Education Foundation. A+ Federal Credit Union established the foundation in 2005 to provide full-time educators, grades pre-K through 12, to help them in reaching their educational goals. Since its inception, the foundation has granted over $757,000 in grants to teachers. Of this, $23,800 was granted to 25 Bastrop ISD teachers. So awesome job there. For the 2017 grant program, we've awarded 92 local educators over $85,000. Of this, $3,738.44 has been awarded to 4 teachers here in Bastrop ISD. Join us as we congratulate and recognize the 2017 Bastrop ISD grant recipients. If you're in the room, please join us. Heather Huffman from Bluebonnet Elementary.
Heather, if you'll just come right up here and stand up in the front. We'll do a group picture after.
This is the fifth time that Heather has received one of our grants, so congratulations.
Great.
Deanna Bodine, or Bodine?
All right.
Bodine. Celia Zavala. And Sarah Franco. We just want to continue to let the educators know, please, we want to give out money, so please, please, please apply for the grants. Thank you again, and appreciate your time.
And if we can have everybody, teachers right up here in the front, principals, if you'll join them, and if you guys would join them as well, we'll get started. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Thank you.
Lord, thank you again. We really do appreciate it. And gentlemen, thanks for coming out. Appreciate the
Thank you.
support. At this time, we will have some other special recognitions. We have a Go Purple Day presentation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The presenter is Gina, and Gina, help me with the last name.
The last name is Gorlinsky.
You pronounce that
I had
word
a hard
beautiful.
time pronouncing it
Yes.
when I first met my husband.
Welcome and thank you for
More
being
fun to
here.
spell it.
Right.
I want to express my gratitude for this time today. I'm a prevention educator at the Family Crisis Center. The Family Crisis Center asked for this time to invite each of you to join us in observance of Domestic Violence Awareness Month during October. Did you know 1 in 10 high school students has been purposefully hit, slapped, or physically hurt by a boyfriend or girlfriend? Violent behavior typically begins between the ages of 12 and 18. 1 in 3 Texas women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. And every year, more than 100 females are murdered by a male intimate partner in Texas. Some parents are confident that they would be able to save their teenager from an abusive relationship. However, 81% of surveyed parents believe dating violence is not an issue in their community, or they admitted that they didn't know if it even was an issue. And although 82% of those parents felt confident that they could recognize the signs if their child was experiencing dating violence, a majority of those parents could not correctly identify all of the warning signs of abuse. We believe knowledge is power. Dating and domestic violence often follow a predictable pattern. Friends, family, and community can help if they know the warning signs. We hold firm to the conviction that each intimate partner homicide is knowable, predictable, and preventable. The Family Crisis Center offers prevention education programs to the schools at no cost to the district. Our programs provide information on how to recognize abusive relationships, how to report abuse as it happens, and how to deter it from happening in the future. We also offer other topics such as bullying, internet safety, and sexual assault prevention. This year we're hosting a youth summit for all high school students, October the 28th, Saturday from 9 to 3. There will be keynote speakers and breakout sessions to help students understand what their role is in ending teen dating violence and intolerance in our communities. We've collaborated with BISD Athletic Director, BISD Police Department, and principals and coaches from both Bastrop and Cedar Creek High Schools to help promote the summit. We would like to express our appreciation to these individuals, campuses, and BISD for their participation and support. We challenge all of Texas to go purple and strive for a state where no one loses their life as a result of family violence. Our campaign theme this year is Paint the Pines Purple. You might notice that several businesses in the city of Bastrop have displayed a purple tree for the month of October to help bring awareness to domestic violence. I believe there's one out here in the hallway as well. City Hall, the Convention Center, Bastrop Police Department, and the library have all gone purple by displaying purple lights after dark. So please join us and go purple on October 19th. If you are going to be wearing purple, you're a business owner or anywhere on your campuses, if any of your employees do want to participate in this, please let us know, and we will be happy to come out and take pictures and post them on our National Domestic Violence Awareness website. So thank you for being a partner on domestic violence awareness and on the Teen Summit.
Thanks, Gina.
Gina,
Thank
Gina, tell Ms. Murphy that the board said hello, and please pass on to all your coworkers. Thank you for what y'all do, and we appreciate the partnership.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, at this time, we have a special recognition for a Generation Citizen. The presenter is Megan Brandon and the CRCA students.
Okay. Again, one of these times I'm going to come up here without notes and not feel nervous, but I still am not to that point yet. So, in fact, when I told Natalia, oh yeah, I've got my script, she was like, yeah, I read it. I saw it on the printer, and I read it. I started the same way. Good evening, Mr. Marine School Board member. My name is Megan Brandon.
She threw you under the bus too?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's good at So with me, I have Nicholas Roper and Annie Jo Dickens. They are Circa sophomores. And we are here to talk about a phenomenal program that had a major impact on all of our current 10th grade Circa students. The program is called Generation Citizen. So as you all are aware, in the summer of 2016, I was fortunate enough to travel with Natalia to the White House, to the Civic Forum. And that trip was really made possible by the founder of Generation Citizen, Scott Warren. While on the trip, he brought up the need for civics in our schools. And I said, absolutely, that's, it's an issue. And I jumped on the opportunity to have Generation Citizen run in my 9th grade social studies research methods class in the spring of last year. So GC is an action civics program. It's a state standard based curriculum, so they have their own curriculum, and it's run during the school day. So it's actually implemented in a classroom setting. I like to call it SUSO. Y'all are familiar with my Speak Up, Speak Out program. I like to call it SUSO on steroids, because it really is. So it relies heavily on college student volunteers called democracy coaches to help facilitate the lessons. The students, my 9th graders last year, 10th graders now, selected a community issue, something that they felt was relevant to young people. They researched it and then implemented a solution. And then at the end of the semester, the students, all of the classrooms that are taking part, are invited to a civics day fair, and they present their project to a panel of judges. Through our participation, the 10th graders, our current 10th graders, were some of the first students in the state of Texas to actually run this program, and really in the whole central United States. The program has only existed on the coastal areas. My students started the program saying, adults never listen to teenagers. We can't make a difference. They ended by actually implementing change in the community. Our projects included partnering with the YMCA for a community garden, working with the Bastrop County Commissioners on an internship program, creating a youth advisory council with the city of Bastrop, and working with the Lost Pines Art Center to design a youth docent program. At Civics Day in May, my 3rd period class received the Class Changemaker First Place Award for their Youth Advisory Council project, and I was honored to receive the Teacher Changemaker Award. To quote one of my students, Miranda Juarez, she was interviewed by Mary Huber for the Bastrop Advertiser, "I never knew I was a leader until my teacher started bringing that up to me. We are discovering troubles in our community that we as young adults have the opportunity to fix." So I'm now gonna give the floor to Nick and Annie Jo to talk about an opportunity that they got to take part in through GC.
Okay, so starting off, as you can see here, we want to talk about our classroom experience, which was with the Generation Citizen curriculum and the democracy coaches. Now, in a normal class, you have the teacher that's telling you what to do, but Generation Citizen, it made you feel like you were taking charge and you were having an active voice in your community, and that's what we did. We got to debate amongst ourselves about a problem that we thought we could try and solve in our community. And I know that my class, personally, we came up with scholarships, because with our then juniors, now seniors, they were starting to look into scholarships because they would be going off to college soon. And so we took a survey and found out that most kids either didn't know where they could get scholarships and apply, or just didn't know like the ones that they had available to them. So we like made a little video and we made posters and we sent out emails to just spread the word on it. And the democracy coaches, they helped us. They didn't really force us into doing something. They would guide our thinking and help us realize what we want to do.
Okay, so the leadership board consists of 14 students across the United States, and we represent each of Generation Citizen's sites. So there are only a handful of states across the US that actually have GC sites, but we are hoping to spread the word about Generation Citizen and hopefully hopefully expand towards other states, other kind of middle states. Like we just recently had Texas, and Oklahoma, yes. And each state typically has between 1 and 3 students, like Nick and I. We represent Texas, and there are 3 students that represent California, and so on.
So as the Student Leadership Board, our goals are basically to spread the awareness about the politics and democracy for the youth. Because I know that in 9th grade, if someone came up to me and was like, hey, we're gonna have people who actually listen to you, I wouldn't have believed them. But we got to go on this little retreat, and we actually got to talk to Scott Warren, and we actually got to voice our opinions for everyone. And I know that knowing that adults will actually listen to you and care about what you say, it really means a lot. And getting to be an advocate for the youth on this board is really something special, because I know if someone just tells me that I'm gonna have someone listen to me, I'm not really gonna believe it. But like us getting to, like our classmates getting to see that we actually have a voice, it is a lot more encouraging to get involved in the youth and in democracy.
So as being a part of the Student Leadership Board for Generation Citizen, we were given a opportunity to go to a trip in New York in August of this year. So it was just a couple months ago. At the retreat, we mostly spent time with each other in the classroom, working with each other, kind of getting to know each other, doing team building activities, and kind of just working on things that an advocate would, need, like public speaking, for example, or, just figuring out how to solve problems the right way with each other. We learned a lot about Generation Citizen, their goals, like Nick said. Their founder, Scott Warren, we learned a lot about him, even his not so serious side. We definitely bettered ourselves, I believe, as young advocates, being a part of this program, because beforehand, I, and I'm sure a lot of other students also felt this way, we didn't really feel like leaders, and we didn't even really know we had a leader in us until we found this program. And it's really helped us to build on our confidence and what we feel like we can do, and that we can actually work out problems with each other as if we were in the real world, which we are. But no. And we also went, okay.
So if you look at the top left, that is actually Wagner College, which is where we stayed at on Manhattan Island. We didn't stay in this specific building, but this is where our little meetings would happen in the mornings and our workshops. For instance, this one lady named Jezra Kay taught us about public speaking, and then another day they taught us about writing professional emails. And that was the business that we had to take care of there. But as you can also see those 2 pictures on the right, that is when we went to take our trip to Manhattan, and we got to watch a Broadway show called School of Rock. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And meeting all those people, it's amazing how much you can bond over the course of 3 days.
The top left picture is the main dormitory of where we stayed and bonded with each other over the course of 3 days, which, you do learn a lot about people even in 3 days, because you kind of have to. But, and in the middle is a picture of Jezra Kay, with one of our students on the leadership board, which, like Nick said, she was talking to us about public speaking, writing professional emails, how to be confident about just in general in speaking to people. And on the bottom right-hand side is a picture of the Statue of Liberty, which Nick and I got to go on a ferry and go see. So. and that is our group.
Very good. Outstanding. Congratulations.
Yes.
Mr. Murray a while ago said, when he was talking to our Student Advisory Superintendent's Council, about how the board, that this board will accept the students being here and loves for the students to be here. But on our side, to sit here and listen to these students talk about their leadership and how they've grown into this, and to watch their teacher, Miss Brandon, just be bursting with pride. And then also our students that are here tonight, we are very fortunate as a board that we have an opportunity to be able to sit here and have these experiences. So thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations.
Absolutely. Thanks for your leadership.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
Ms. Barrientos, do we have anybody signed up for open forum? All right, thank you very much. At this time, we'll move on to the superintendent and board discussion. Looks like the curriculum report, there's no report for this month. Financial and personnel is informational only. Operations, communication, there's no report for this month. This time, is there any board member that would like to pull any additional consent item at this time for discussion? All right, if there are none, I'll open up the consent agenda item for discussion. As presented. Is there no discussion? All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the items on the consent agenda. So move. All right, we have a motion. Second. And we have a second for the items presented on the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, items on the consent agenda are passed. This time, we'll move on to our action items. Consider changing the date of the regular November board meeting to Tuesday, November the 14th. Mr. Murray?
Yes, we've had this occur in several months, but this is because of our Thanksgiving holiday, and we felt like we could get everything in as far as the financials. We checked with Sandra and have it prior to our Thanksgiving break and have time to prep for the board meeting, as opposed to trying to squeeze it in at the end. So we would like to have the board approve the change for November regular board meeting to Tuesday, November 14th.
Do we still all get to go to Mr. Edwards' house for dinner?
Absolutely. That's what I understand. Turkey, ham, the whole thing, yeah.
He's a little quiet over there.
Games.
Yeah.
Games, board games.
That's Meredith, that's their issue.
Any discussion from the board in regards to this action item? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to change the regular November board meeting to Tuesday, November the 14th. Do we have a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. This time we will consider approval of a resolution in opposition to proposed waste transfer station location. Dr. Christy Lee.
And I'll remind everybody before Christy finishes, Dr. Lee finishes, that we have our students here, because we're gonna get right into adjournment. We haven't had much discussion with our students, so just wanted to give them, prep them, so they can be thinking of something to talk to our students about.
Well, this
And this would be a great opportunity
It
for
will be a
the
good one,
students to
yes.
ask questions.
We can talk about trash.
Trash.
We can
We're gonna
talk
talk about no
about
trash.
trash,
Yeah.
but not do any trash talking.
Yeah. Just present, please. Quickly.
Okay, I do have copies. I'm gonna go through the resolution that I want you all to consider, but I also have copies of the resolution passed by the Bastrop County Commissioners Court for each of you if you'd like to have one of those as well. So this is a resolution of the Bastrop Independent School District Board of Trustees opposing the location of the proposed waste transfer station. Whereas Bastrop Independent School District is a fast-growth school district with 15 campuses across 433 square miles, serving nearly 11,000 students from Bastrop, Cedar Creek, Red Rock, Rockney, Page, and other rural areas of Bastrop County. Whereas it is the intent of Bastrop ISD to create and maintain a learning and teaching environment that preserves the safety and security of its students and teachers, including on its campuses, at school events, and on buses. Whereas Bastrop ISD owns 100 acres, the location of which is at State Highway 21 and FMH 12, for the purpose of a future school site to accommodate growing enrollment. Whereas Lialco Inc., a subsidiary of Waste Connections, has applied to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for a permit to construct and operate a solid waste transfer facility off State Highway 21 West near the intersection of FM 812. Whereas the proposed facility is expected to generate approximately 300 vehicles per day, consisting of short-haul and long-haul garbage trucks, creating an unnecessary safety hazard and resulting in possible traffic-related injuries and deaths. Now therefore be it resolved that Bastrop Independent School District Board of Trustees, in its responsibility to act in the best interests of students and staff, opposes the location of the proposed waste transfer facility due to the quantity of traffic, the type of traffic, and the close proximity to a proposed school site, and urges the TCEQ to deny the request of Lialco Inc. to construct and operate a solid waste transfer station at the proposed site. This is the resolution that I'm recommending you consider and approve.
Just for board information, I drove out to the site, and it is right across the street on Highway 21 from the school property. And so anyways, and it is a site where possibly the public and even their company can come just dump trash, and then they load it in other containers to haul it off to another location. So not only the traffic of heavy trucks and things like that, but also the conditions of the road as well as the odor.
And I understand, I mean, obviously, we didn't have it in our resolution because ours is more relative to the traffic congestion and the possible danger with a possible school site out there, but also I understand that there's some protests and some issues concerning water quality, because Cedar Creek is over in that proximity.
That's right.
As well, and TCEQ is that's being addressed with TCEQ as well. But ours is relative really to traffic and safety.
Yes, and the possibility that that site would be a high school, a future high school, and with student drivers. That's
That's a good point, because
specific
it is the largest, we only own two really future school sites at this time, a smaller one in Shiloh, and then that 100-acre site at this location.
That's right.
And this is the site about 12, 13 years ago that Bonds went out trying to build the second high school at, just so you know where that location is.
CapCog has urged, has issued a statement to Capital Area Council of Governments, that's what that stands for, to TCEQ, urging them to deny the request. In addition, we understand that Senator Kirk Watson will also be urging that TCEQ denies the request. If neither of those things happen and it moves forward, then Bastrop County Commissioners Court, because it's in the Bastrop County floodplain, even though it's not in the federal floodplain, they have said that they would deny the permit unless they rectify the situation, which would require them moving that building. If they agree to do that and pay the costs associated with that, then it would move forward. But
Are students aware of the location we're talking about? Y'all familiar? Savannah, where do you live? You live in Cedar Creek, right? Okay.
Wait, could you repeat the address?
it's at Highway 21 and FM 812. So are you familiar with like where Red Rock Elementary is?
Yeah.
It's not close to Red Rock Elementary, but it's
really up from Cedar Creek Elementary, yeah,
Oh, I know that.
on Highway 21. It's
I know exactly what you're
pretty
talking
major
about.
intersection out there. It's a lot of traffic already, as there is.
a convenience store.
You know, you familiar now with what we're talking about?
Yes.
You see where we have concern?
Yeah.
You think about us having concern with us having a possible, whether it's a high school or any other kind of campus site, could you see the concern there?
You don't want to put a trash place beside a school.
Yeah, and Savannah, our bigger concern, not necessarily that the type of business they want to run there, it's really the amount of traffic. Because, you know, Dr. Lee talked about in a resolution that we're anticipating some 300 trucks a day coming in and out of that location.
And these are trash trucks, and the ones pulling out will be 18-wheelers hauling it off.
There's no, on most of those roads, going out that way, doesn't have the side.
Shoulders, yeah.
And so you can't.
Yeah, we have the so-called safety shoulders out here in this county, it seems like. Yeah, Natalia, where do you live?
I used to live in Cedar Creek, now I live in Bastrop.
Oh, okay, I thought you used to live in Cedar Creek, all right, all right. Yeah, so, yeah, I just wanna make sure they knew what we were talking about, cause, you know, we are getting to the end of our agenda, but it is an important issue. It's an important issue, and I think that's one of the things we kinda underscored, whether it was Generation Citizen or, and as Megan was talking and the students, it made me think about what we do every month. You know, listen to our students and talk about issues that are of great importance to them, and they get to dialogue with each other, they get to talk to me and other district leaders, and tonight is no different. You know, it's important because you may say, well, I'm graduating soon, what's the big deal? But it is a big deal, because it could be your younger brother and sisters, it could be your cousins, it could be somebody that you know, it could be somebody 20 years from now that would be affected, you know, depending on when we might build a school out there. So it's important to look in the future, even if it may not affect you immediately, you know, and we talk about that a lot during Student Advisory Council as well. They realize also that they represent the entire student body, not just themselves, when they come to those meetings. Kind of like these 7 people represent everybody in the school district, all the taxpayers and voters in the school district, your parents and other folks, and students as well.
I have a question for David.
Yes, sir.
As a numbers guy, and you, as an entrepreneur, you're generally looking on ways of capitalizing on solving problems.
True.
And so creative solutions to what may seem like a simple problem that actually ends up creating more problems would seem like a great opportunity to exercise some of that creativity, run the numbers, and find a way to solve a problem.
That's very true. Right now, I haven't really had the time to like analyze the problem well, but I do see potential problems. Like, for example, as you guys were saying, safety. That's not only a concern on our part, but it would definitely be a concern in their part as the companies, because anything that happens to the students, they would probably, like students or like anything related to traffic that's caused by them, they would be financially responsible for that. And exactly, no company wants to deal with that. So that's another way you guys can pitch it to convince the company itself to shoot.
Shoot. In essence, that's what we're doing. Yeah,
We are now.
it's a long resolution, but pretty
She
much
left
that's
that
exactly what I
paragraph
want.
out.
Shoot, yeah. Yeah, I like that, David. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? Any comments or anything about that? You know, we just, you know, it's really the only heavy agenda item we have as far as asking y'all anything. Before we finish, because I know we're going to vote on this, but anything else that y'all want to maybe tell the board about maybe your experiences with the Student Advisory Council, or something that we've done that maybe you particularly have thought is important, whether for your school or for the school district?
I want to appreciate Mr. Murray, because like he actually listens to us, and we bring problems to the table, and like in less than a month the problems usually get fixed. If they're really small problems, if they're big, it takes 1 to 2 months, but he does a really good job, and y'all do too, and I want to thank y'all for that.
Very good, Savannah. One of the things that Savannah was talking about is, and I really appreciate the students saying this, that leadership kind of happens organically with the Student Advisory Council, just like it does with Generation Citizen. We don't talk about leadership. It just takes place because they're talking with each other, they're working their differences out, they realize that people have differing opinions, and we get some things solved, like Savannah said. And they've also learned that, and this is a perfect example, we're going through a process where we have a resolution talking about something that really is kind of not directed towards us or with us, because we don't have any really say other than our voice in a resolution. Same thing with the Student Advisory Council. We give these problems actually to our high school principals and ask them to look into those issues, and the students really feel like they've been empowered, and I appreciate that. David, were you gonna say something? Sorry. No, I thought you wanted the mic. Okay. No? So since when are you not gonna talk?
I'm gonna ask her a question.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, Natalia?
yeah. Let's open up a can.
We may be here a while.
That's
Well,
mean.
I'm still associated with this issue and this problem, and the solutions of it is that your future as an immigration attorney, you're dealing with specific classes of people. Classes, not meaning not a class, but classes being identified as particular characteristics. Part of dealing with those kind of things is identifying issues that's specific to that group, right? So if you were to think But if you were to think about who would be stakeholders in a particular neighborhood, a particular area, that would be considered a class of people affected by a particular action, like the construction of this website, do you have any idea how you would try to analyze that situation? And
Wait, hold up.
Sidebar.
Okay.
Can you explain the stakeholder?
Sure. Okay, stakeholders means somebody who has a part in it. They have a concern. There's someone who's going to be affected by it, whether they're a participant doing the action or whether there's someone in the immediate vicinity that's going to be affected by the action.
Okay, so like your question is, okay.
My question would be, if you identify a particular area that's going to have a problem, a particular group of people that have a problem, for example, in the case of immigration, how would you try to analyze geographically how to identify a class of people and try to deal with the issues that they may have as a way of, protecting their rights, basically?
Well, first I want to say my position in this, I honestly think that they shouldn't put that there, because you could see all these problems are going to build up if you do this. So you're going to have to be thinking about the public, not just your customers. So, I mean, yeah, you need to be worrying about your customers' needs and all that. But like he said, if they have problems or something, there's some lawsuits there. There's a lot of things that's gonna go wrong there. If that company is the root cause of this traffic or of this, people are gonna notice that. They're gonna protest. They're gonna put their words out. They're gonna want a change. They don't see it now because they don't. It's not. Yeah, it's not happening.
And to help you out, Natalia, there's also a neighborhood across the street as well.
That's bad.
I think,
that's not good.
didn't the neighborhood already get together and meet and,
Yeah, I think they've already voiced their concern as well.
Yeah.
They did. The residents they spoke at the public meeting. That was
Yeah.
held.
Actually, sorry, but there's if I'm not mistaken, there is a factory nearby the Lost Pines Elementary School, like in the close proximity. And I know that it's a pain for the people sometimes to go and take their students when you can smell the smell of burning, I don't know what my dad said, feathers or whatever it was. It smelled really bad, and that's just, I feel like for the companies especially, it's bad to have the future generations, which would be the kids, to be able to see that and have a negative connotation of that certain thing, whether it be a company or whatever it is, with like their unpleasant experience that they have.
Chief, you gonna look into that?
burning,
Talia, do you have something else you want to say?
Yeah.
burning feathers.
First of all, I have that problem when I go to ACC on the bus. It stinks, okay? And let me tell you something. If I smell that now, you think I'm gonna move over here?
I got them started.
Are you talking about the dog food?
Yes. I live in that area. I'm the youth, okay? And if I have, and if I have the opportunity to live here, no, they ain't gonna get no customers. I'm just telling you that.
Thank y'all for y'all's input.
Very good.
Miss Lee, I just have some questions. Did you write this resolution?
Yes.
Can you read that one more time to us?
Not the resolution.
Just kidding. Board, do we have any discussion about the resolution that Miss Lee wrote in regards to opposition of the proposed waste transfer station location? There is no discussion. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution as presented?
So moved.
We have a motion. Second. And we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Ms. Lee, thank you.
Would you like copies of this?
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Solano, when you were introducing yourself, you said that you wanted to do education and that you wanted to teach kindergartners. Can I ask how you decided on that age group?
I decided that because my family is like a big family, and I just just love babysitting. And I've been raised by little kids, so I'm like, okay, I'll babysit your kid. I used to spend the nights with my nephews, like, let my uncles go out, and I just adore kids. Like, I have a passion for little kids. Not big ones, no. I mean, like, no.
Present company. Or not.
Thank you.
Very good.
Good for you.
Hey, board, any other discussion? All right, at this time, on the agenda, we have, informational items. On there is the district-wide calendar, also enrollment. Those are for information only. Do we have any objections to adjourning this meeting? If there are no objections, we'll consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.